What's up, guys? Miner985 here. Today I'm bringing you guys a Shadow of the Colossus review. I hope y'all don't mind the Minecraft gameplay in the background. That's just something, I just needed some gameplay, and this is the thing I could find on short notice, so yeah, we're doing this. So anyways, let's get into my just full review of Shadow of the Colossus. Okay, so before we even start, for starters, um, let's just like get some of the obvious things out of the way. I did not expect that series to go. Yeah, I didn't expect it to go past 20 episodes, to be honest. I was thinking, well, maybe we'll hit. I was like, at most we'll probably hit 17, 18. We ended up going 23, which was pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the absolute best thing that we could have done, but it just, just happens. But oh well. It was just like some of the base things before we get into it. I really enjoyed it. That was a just fun experience. So if I were to yes, I would highly recommend that you at least play it. Even if it's just once even if it's on the lowest difficulty, just get the experience for it, because it's a game changer is all I'm gonna say. If you've watched it, then you pretty much know how it ends. But it was really a lot of fun. I've played a couple single-player games like that before, and a lot of them have my attention for a little bit. We get halfway through the game, and then I'm like, it's the same thing over and over and over and over. Go do this, do this. But the same thing happened for Shadow of the Colossus, but it just didn't feel the same. It felt completely unique. Should I say. It felt unique in a way that, that even though, yes, you were doing the same thing, if you think about it, in practice, it is repetitive when you say it. But when you actually get to play it, and you realize that there's so many things that are just like around the world that you get to actually explore it. There's multiple ways to get to a boss. There's not just, one single pathway that the game's forcing you to do. And it's really, really cool. I really like that. Another thing, too, I liked the way that each boss did climb in difficulty. Kind of basically showing that, kind of pushing towards, like you learn the game and you learn the ropes, and you gotta learn each weakness to each boss to be able to defeat them, to be able to win. And it's actually a lot harder than what it seemed, because there was a lot of times in there where, some things aren't even completely hinted at. At all. I remember with the big Colossus, I think it's the third one, the one with the big oak club, all they really give you is saying that the gauntlet is weak or something like that. And of course, with your intuition, I didn't have any clue what I was looking for, but you're supposed to, just same thing, hit that, let them hit that metal kind of circular object, and then it would kind of just, it progressed the boss fight. And then a lot of them got harder and harder. Like, the 15th one was a hard one, too, because he was the big gorilla one. His was just because you had to put everything together with him and, use your environment to your advantage, which was very tricky at first. But once you learn it, it's pretty easy. I know, a lot of them had, really, really unique arenas. Like, the Poseidon one, the underwater one, I love that one. The lightning and everything was awesome. Having to sneak around and, kind of be stealthy with him was cool. And then there were a lot of boss fights that were, very just strange, if you ask me. Like, the sand snake that we fought was don't get me wrong, it was a very good boss fight, but it just was weird in my opinion, because you're not given any hints that, that you're supposed to ride around on aggro until you the beast comes closer to you, and then you bring it to a wall, and then it hits the wall, and then you shoot it, or you hit it, I don't remember. You hit it, you shoot it with a bow and arrow, and then of course it starts chasing you, and then you poke out the eyes, and then after that, then you can fight it. That wasn't very obvious, if I'm being all that serious. Because honestly, after I cut that video, I went and looked up a guide, to figure out how to do it, and it makes me appreciate how people were able to beat this game back in the day when YouTube wasn't as popular or whatever. So kind of just had to figure it out on your own, which I really liked. And there's a lot of cool elements. The story elements were awesome. The dynamics, the graphics, the setting, character building, and everything. And just each boss fight, progressively built up on the environment. Because with the first one, you start in a little bitty arena, so they start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where, you're like, whoa, you're in, huge areas, whatever. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And, but each boss got progressively harder as you went on, and I really, really liked it. That, that no boss was the same. Because, let's be honest, if every boss was the same, it would get repetitive so fast, and the game would get so boring. And I don't think anybody would have wanted that. But that's the good. That's all the good things I have to say about it. The story overall was amazing. I didn't expect that story to go anywhere. And dude, I'm not even gonna lie. That plot at the end, the plot twist at the end was. It's still. What's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. It sort of, still shocks me to think about that, because I think it was at the very beginning of the series when I was like, watch it be all like, oh, this person is the bad guy, whatever, and then he's gonna be the 16th Colossi, Dormir. That's what I was thinking, and I mean, I was right to a certain extent. Dormir did end up being one of the main villain of the game, but I ended up being slightly wrong, because even though Dormir was the boss of the game, it kind of just kind of pushed it away just a little bit to what's the word? It was unexpected. I kind of figured that Dormir was going to be the villain from the beginning, but I didn't know to what extent that Dormir was going to be an enemy. And just the ending really shook me. And it was just it got to the very end. The very ending is the very, very end, during the credits and everything, is puzzling, very puzzling. But once you actually get to watching videos and stuff, people explaining and doing some research, you've come to find out that Shadow of the Colossus is a prequel to another game, Ioto, I think is what it's called. Ito, I know, something like that. It's I blanks T. It's either ITO or INO. I don't clearly remember, but it was it ends up being a prequel to the game, and it just kind of shows that that some things are very, very different about some games, and sometimes they're not, and it really just shows how you can build a world and still keep a universe going and whatever. And I really, really liked it. Now, I think that would be all the good in it. Each boss, didn't take forever. It wasn't like, oh, you have to sit down and plan for. I mean, you did have to plan, but it wasn't like, oh, sit down and then do this boss fight for about 2 hours, whatever. No, it was at maximum, if you didn't understand what you were doing, 45 minutes. But even then, they weren't even that bad. I really liked it too. Difficulty spike was awesome and everything. So that's all the good I have to say. Now we can get to the bad that I have and my pet peeves. One of the yeah, it's kind of sad, but you can't really review a game without giving it its flaws, because if you always review the positives, then it just just ends up showing that you're biased. So, but one of my pet peeves was, of course, at the beginning, riding aggro and trying to keep aggro sprinting. That was one of my pet peeves, because it almost felt off a little bit. If you catch my drift, it felt off, like it wasn't meant to be like that, and it just felt so weird. But I mean, once you learn how to actually play the game and everything, then it starts making more and more sense. Then you realize that it's it's just a little small, minute detail that you wouldn't have noticed anyways. But there was that. Of course, the difficulty spike was not one of my pet peeves. What was a pet peeve? I know another one was, of course, one of mine was the hints and everything. A lot of the kind of Colossi did not have hints to give you how to defeat them. And, I mean, for some people that's good, but for people like me who have, never seen this game or anything, know nothing about it, it's just throws you off a little bit, if that makes sense. I didn't like that. I also did not like the boss with the one we had to fight in the geysers. I really didn't like that one. I don't know if y'all could tell in my voice, but that one was just, that was my least favorite out of all of them. That was my least favorite. It was time consuming, beyond a doubt, a shadow of a doubt. It was not hard, it was just annoying is all it was, because you had to, ride around on aggro until you got it underneath a geyser, and the geyser had to be perfectly timed to knock it over, and then once it got knocked over, then you had to shoot it, and then after that it would flip over, and wherever you shot it, it would flip on the opposite side, then you'd have to ride aggro to the other side, climb on, and, kind of hold on, and then do your best to beat it right then and there. Because if you, like I did in one of those episodes, fighting that boss, I fell off and had to redo it, and it was just annoying. Another kind of annoying one I had was the last Colossi. Just the way that he shakes, he'll grab onto the back of his hand, and then he'll kind of turn his hand, and then for some reason, instead of staying on the back of his hand, you'll end up in the palm of his hand. And I was really not intentionally doing any of that moving. I was just holding on in place, and it just seemed a little weird to me like that, and I was like, okay. But, I mean, that might have been me, and I might have done it unintentionally. So there's that possibility. Another peeve I had with it was kind of the sort of, like you get the beginning of the game, like you can feel the Colossi difficulty spiking until you get about halfway through it. Then it kind of just, sits in, is this annoying to do, or is this even, is it fun fighting this boss? Is it annoying? It gets to that point. But overall, that's pretty much all my complaints I have for it. And some of the things that I really we just went over the good, the bad, and in my opinion, the ugliest thing of the game had to have been, in my opinion, without a doubt, had to have been the absolute way that I really forgot what I was gonna say. I can't remember right now. I can't remember. But anyways, there wasn't too many things I didn't like about the game. Oh, the thing I really could not stand at all was the final part to approaching the 16th Colossi, sacrificing aggro. I loved the sense of demise that you kind of had, that you had to, you form this connection with aggro, and then just to see aggro sacrifice, herself just to let you proceed. It was sad. It was sad. It really was sad. That's not my pet peeve. The thing I really hated about this game was that little bridge part. I absolutely hate that. And to this very moment, I still hate that. It was infuriating. It was sort of broken in a way, because it really doesn't teach you how to do it, because the camera moves a certain angle and it messes with you. It should have just been straight, in my opinion, but it's fine. That's probably the only complaint I have with it. But other than that, the game was really fun. I do plan on continuing a series, not with Shadow of the Colossus, unless y'all want to see me do a speed run, in which case let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do a speed run. I can either do, speed run, try to beat it in 23 episodes, or who knows, maybe I'll even do a live stream. for Shadow of the Colossus. That way y'all can be there, and we can beat all 16 Colossi in however long. Because when I played the game for a second time, I ended up, of course, beating, I think it was the first 6 or 8, I don't remember. I said it in one of those videos, but I ended up beating about a third of the game in under an hour, which is really not bad. I mean, but then again, I did understand where I was going, I knew what I was doing, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it wasn't anything new, like extraordinarily new, so it's whatever. But yeah, my overall review of the game, I absolutely loved it, man. I loved it. There was a lot of things like moments in there that are memorable to me. The most memorable one is Aggro sacrificing herself. That was a very memorable moment for me. Y'all didn't get to experience it on my because I didn't even have my microphone plugged in, but it was sad. It was sad. Like, you grow a connection to Aggro, and just to see it all taken away just in a mere amount of seconds is just sad. But I'm glad that at the end that she did end up surviving, because it really brings a sense of relief, you know, that I don't have to worry about, you know, one of my favorite parts of the game, you know, end up being just destroyed and ends up being a sad ending. Overall, game was really fun. I highly recommend that if you haven't played it, give it a try. Even if, you know, single player boss fights are not your thing, just give it a try. Even you don't have to beat it in one sitting, whatever. Just, you know, gradually play it. Like, if you want to play it, what's the word? You know, periodically, then feel free to. It's all up to you. It's not really something that anybody can force you to do. And I really like that. There's not much else I could say about the game. Overall rating of the game, 9 out of 10. Of course, I'd have to, you know, dock some points off from the bad stuff, like, you know, like I was saying earlier, some of the boss fight clues aren't as explicit. The very ending part, you know, putting some boss fights together were super annoying. Um, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I really wish that there was a sequel, but I highly doubt there is going to be a sequel. But I do have a brand new series in the works, and the first video should either be up either tomorrow of the recording as of the upload of this video, or it is going to be 2 days after. But I'm not really sure. Haven't really decided yet. But y'all will get to see, and y'all will get to see what it is, and we get to go on a journey for this. And I'll tell you what, this one is another single player one, but this one is not going to take us 23 episodes to finish. I know that for a fact. We will probably hit maybe even 50 episodes, maybe even longer than that. Who knows? But yeah. But if you guys want to take a guess, it's 2 words. It's 2 words, each consisting of 3 letters, and that'll kind of let you get some hints towards it. But overall, I love the game. Let me know if y'all want to see a speed run down below, or if y'all want to see me do a new game plus with the same exact series and I continue it, but just with health and stamina kept over the same. So just let me know what y'all want to see about that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this in-depth review of Shadow of the Colossus. Hope y'all didn't mind the gameplay. And also, before I forgot, my absolute favorite moment of the entire game was the boss fight where I had no microphone, which was the little bull one where I'm kind of parkouring around. That level, I loved it. Loved it. My favorite boss fight in the entire game, period. It was awesome to parkour, you know, feel like that, because you always see these colossi and you're like, oh, I'm kind of powerless against them. But seeing this little guy right there, being able to jump around and just kind of like mess with him, it made you feel like you were powerful at a point, and it was pretty cool. But that's all I really have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next playthrough series. Hope to see y'all there. Peace!